Good afternoon, Alan. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks, Peter. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you very much. Fantastic. So, Alan, tell me a little about yourself, please, and your business.
So I'm the CEO of Uradaical. We're just over a year old company now. Founded with one other co-founder, and what we are and what we're going to be is kind of two different things. Right now, we're primarily consultants. We go in, we'll build systems for people. We'll help with process improvements, normally cutting the process out to get to that bare bone. A lot of what we do around this has been influenced by the outcome generation, where we actually try and say, well, it's not about doing all these tickets. It's about, well, what is the outcome you want this ticket to produce? And sometimes that can be achieved by, well, you need to be profitable by this date. Can you be profitable with less features? Making these kind of trade-offs. And like I say, we get our hands dirty, we can help build, we can operate at the higher level and sort of teach people that, yeah, you iterate, you make the outcome. It could be a case of we need to be profitable by in 2 months, and that unlocks an next round of funding, and yeah, we can scrap these features, these are enough, move on. Both of us have worked with a few industries. We've worked in product and we've worked with some consulting as well. Because we've come from that product, we know, yeah, this is the game you're playing. Is you don't get everything up front. It's small steps and keep going, and it's keeping that momentum going. So, like I say, what we're doing and what we're transitioning to is kind of we're in that point of flux now, because we always intended to build a product. The product is starting to take a lot more shape now, and we're starting to have some funding conversations with people as well. So the product is moving into a product management application, where there's a movement at the moment that talks about products over projects, or a project being something short-lived that you eventually walk away from, and that probably falls into what's built in a lot of traditional enterprise systems. So yeah, we built the system, let's walk away. It lives in a server doing its job, and then everybody comes back to it after a while, expects to pick it up where it left off, and it's like, yeah, everything has just moved on since then and ends up a rewrite. With a product is something we release it. There is no definition of done. It's continual evolution, and it's done when it's turned off. So the idea, the tool we're having is helping to align the C-suite, the decision makers, right down to developers, so they can set the outcomes they need to achieve per quarter, per year, and right down at the lowest levels, the developers, designers, testers, they can actually see, well, this ticket I'm working on can go back to that outcome. So you create that shared vision, that shared alignment, and it's being forced in the tool.
Whenever you were growing up, is this what you envisaged doing?
Yeah, it's a short answer, but yeah, I grew up kind of up the tail end of the Commodore 64 movement. So basic programming, math, moved in schools. It was pre-internet still. Coding was always the thing I was always seeking to try and do, messing around with basic, and then managed to scrounge some free old computer magazines, basically digesting those, building a few machines of my own, and yeah, as soon as Linux came out, jumped to that. It was ultra technical, but at the same time, I was always reading books, Gates, Michael Dell, those founders of companies in your hearing. It was probably a case of you wanted to start your own, to be part of that movement, if you know what I mean. It's not some kind of grand ambition. It's just like, yeah, this would be cool. Because you grew up, you had people like David Bowie were on Newsnight talking about how the internet was new rock and roll at the time and stuff like that. So it was like, yeah, this seems pretty cool.
Very good. And tell me, who would be your ideal customer?
Somebody knows how to show up and listen and pay. But I think, without being blunt, which I can be, the ideal customer is somebody that will work alone, that can collaborate. We work well in the startup space, and we work well. We're comfortable with chaos. We've all come from startup backgrounds in the past, building our own startup. We know things don't go to a plan. You keep an eye on your outcome. That's the important thing. We'll work out as we go how to get there. Like I say, what we do varies, because we're using the consultancy side to bootstrap our own product. Sometimes that means we're jumping in, we're helping with process, we're helping with product discovery, we're helping prioritize features, or we're actually rolling up our hands and we're jumping in, we're writing services. So the ideal customer for us is probably small. And that sort of, they've got their MVP and they're in the grow out phase, because we can really help grow. Because I've talked a bit about process, but I'm not a process priest or advocate. It's the bare minimum. Focus on what you want to do. And startups tends to be, well, there's less politics, there's less people. You can create that fast moving environment.
What would you say has been your biggest learning since being a business owner?
We're always learning. A lot of what I have learned in the past has been from building products, releasing products, seeing things go drastically wrong, seeing things go right. It's adopting, and it is what it is. Attitude. I think learning that lesson before we started Uradaical was probably what was key to actually starting Uradaical, because, like I said, we've been talking about this for at least 5-6 years. This idea has been kicking around. The idea of the product's been kicking around for probably 4 of those years. So we started, things have been kicking around the melting pot, but until we'd actually done a few more steps, released a few more things, burned ourselves, had a few successes. That's what molded us, and it's kind of learning it. It's a flow. You just go with a river type attitude on it. It's sometimes you have to take the roughs.
Who's the first person that comes to mind when you think about success?
That's an easy one. There's obviously, you can talk to sort of invalid rates and stuff, but people I would probably respect the most is the guys we worked for at Teamwork when I was still in Bali at that stage. Peter and Dan, they started a company that bootstrapped it up. I'm not going to put the number, but you're probably behind in what it's actually worth now. They've just had their first investment last year. So, I mean, that to me is a success. It's a homegrown Irish company. Probably close to 300 plus employees now. They've got offices. They've recently been in Denver. So, look, those are the guys I have the most respect for. It's the coders like ourselves that have created a business. So.
What inspires you? What gives you the most inspiration today?
There's many things. Like, I just like building stuff, and building it well. Like we've built systems in the past that have stood the test of time, both myself and Mark. Like major incidences already, just so we like building high quality systems. We don't like just throw anything out. That's like you have to throw something out short. If we're telling you to do a hack right now, I might get off this call and actually tell somebody to do that. We're putting something out that's deliberately messy, but we're going to learn something from, and we'll iterate and change that up. I think it started off probably like 15 building websites. From then, it's just been an iteration of learning multiple things. We're messing around now with some machine learning that's going to feed into the products. So it's like just that continual always hunger to learn something, do something new. A lot of stuff, spare time, I read a lot of books about companies and stuff like that. And the things that always amaze me the most, impress me the most, are doing more with smaller teams. And I think that's a drive, is we want to see what we can do, keeping it as small and as lean as we can. Money could potentially come out of this, there's no question, but it's We just want to build something cool.
If it were possible, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
The thing about this, it's everybody was really writing a letter to your previous self. So yeah, I wouldn't have read it. You have to decide what you want to do and stay true to that. Like I say, I was wanting to be a coder since I got my hands on Commodore 64. It is just, it's virgin Steve Jobs training, which makes you sound like a bit of a dick, but it's that stay hungry, stay lean. Always be learning, learn. Listen to people. I think that don't be afraid to ignore some.
And so I guess we've got what 25% of 2023 has passed now. So what are you most excited about for the rest of 2023?
So if things just keep going the way 2022 did, we're going to have a good year. The funding options have started to come up, opening up to us. This is exciting because this could really push the product, accelerate the product development, because we probably hold back in the consultancy side a bit and really push this. And we won't abandon the consultancy side because it's a good learning curve. It builds relationships and we can build a future client base, because a lot of what we're doing is telling people, well, do processes like this, do this. That's already been envisioned, thought in the product. So it's like, yeah, you guys would now become ideal candidates for this. Here's your free 6 months. I'll get you in the long run.
And if somebody likes what they've heard and would be interested in getting in touch or reaching out, Alan, what would be the best way for them to go about that?
So our website is uradaical.io. So if you drop a mail on info@uradaical.io or the contact form on your page, yeah, somebody will be back to you pretty quick.
Well, Alan Bradley from Uradaical, thanks very much for your time this afternoon. It's been great to hear about your story, your journey, and indeed your business as well. So thanks again, and I wish you all the success for the rest of 2023 and indeed beyond. So, and happy birthday to Uradaical as well. So thanks very much, Alan.
Thanks, Peter. It's been great speaking. Thanks for the opportunity.